Hello, Internet, and welcome to Red Jenny. Thanks for joining us here this lovely Monday evening. We are super excited to get back to playing some Dragon Age. Thanks for joining us. We will get started here in a minute with our show, but first, as always, announcements. Our regularly scheduled lineup is below our faces if you want to check out all the streams that we do this week, but a few adjustments. Our normally next scheduled stream would have been tomorrow on Tuesday. They'd be playing Escape Velocity. However, there's going to be a couple of shakeups there, and they're taking the night off to get some things ready for their next session. So I don't know if they've made any announcements yet, but I'm sure those will happen soon. So you should you check out the YouTubes in the meantime and get caught up on the show before everything changes. I realized my producers are telling me I forgot my captioner. I'm going to bring that up real quick. The next,
I like that every time it comes up, it says "Start talking."
Start talking. The next scheduled stream then will be on Thursday, which will be our Elegant Creatures game. We're playing Monster of the Week. Sid runs that, can talk more about it. And otherwise, I think everything else should be normal this week. So, like I said, check out our full schedule. We got lots of shows going on this channel that you can come join us for. I don't have anything. I feel like I don't have more to say. I don't have anything else to really plug today. Merch store. We got a merch store. You can check that out. Links in the chat for that. And buy stuff. We're past the holiday season, but maybe you've got some, discretionary money or bonuses or
Valentine's
raises.
Day is in like 2 weeks, baby.
Yeah, buy some for someone you care about. We're working on a new shirt, which hopefully will be in the chat soon.
God, I hope I can get it done by Valentine's Day.
That would be lovely, because I think that'd be perfect for Valentine's Day.
Keep your bros on their toes.
Keep your bros on their toes.
I will totally model it if that's
Are you gonna do the shirt sleeves?
I'm gonna try.
We'll see. I'm excited for it. I'm first on the list to pre-order one of those when they come live, because that's gonna be awesome. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and let my lovely players here introduce themselves, talk about who they are and who they play, who they're playing tonight, and what they do on and off this channel. Starting with Van.
Hello, that's me. Hi, I'm Van, or Savvy. You can find me on the internets at Savvy Seaworth, pretty much wherever you can find people on the internet. I'm pretty much off Twitter for good, so you can find me on Hive Social. You can also find me on Instagram, but mostly you can find me hanging out on Discord, in the GGK Discord, which you can join and hang out with us, and here on Twitch. I'm live on this channel Thursdays through Mondays, either playing in games or running them, running Dungeons and Dragons on Saturday mornings, and it's the Winterlude, baby. We'll be back this Saturday. We're going to Kaladesh, and I'm very excited for that. And then on Sunday nights, you can find me on twitch.tv/lbhackemup playing Monster of the Week. We had our first session of that last night, and it was fabulous. It was awesome. But yeah, tonight I'm playing Venehn, who is an elven rogue. Probably the most tattooed one in the party.
That seems fair. Hey, I'm Christine Sid. You can find me all over the internet at Greek Sid. I'm here Thursdays through Mondays. As Val said already, I run our game of Elegant Creatures, 7 o'clock Eastern on Thursdays. We're in our final mystery here in Monster of the Week, and then we're gearing up already for our 4th installment of the Elegant cinematic universe. So keep an eye on things, because we're just gonna keep on rolling. It's gonna be great. Shenanigans abound. Yeah. Tonight I'm playing Yasmera. Yas is our Kunari rogue. And I said it in my head, and then I stopped myself from saying it out loud, but I'm just gonna say it, the horniest one in the party, because she has,
There it
I'm gonna
is.
stop talking now.
There it is. Nope, you're spot on. 100% facts. You are perfect in every way you are. Sup, y'all? It is me, Wally, your favorite non-binary slime best friend on the internet. You can find me on the social medias as WALLE132, like the cute little Disney robot, where I talk about my hyperfixations. This week, because the Royal Rumble happened and Sami Zayn with the Bloodline got me all emotional because, oh boy, that was honestly the greatest amount of storytelling I've ever seen in wrestling since the Mega Powers broke up or when David Batista got fired by Triple H. Oh god, it was so good. Anyway, yes, you can find me pretty much in all the games they talked about here already on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays playing some games. Also, you can find me in some upcoming podcasts pretty soon. So, follow me on the social media so you can see other stuff that I do. I don't know. I like to think I'm pretty talented. Today I am playing Garas. They are the Elven Rogue who, I was gonna say has a cross to bear just to piss off Van, but but no, they are the Elven Rogue with only one eye. The only one eye in the party. So yeah.
All right, and that hands it over to me. Hi, everybody. I'm John. You can find me on the internets at Mr. Wilt. You can also find me on Instagram at john.ceta, where you can check out some lovely pictures of food that I make. You can also, if you're a fan of this face, this lovely face, this face that you see here before you, keep your eye out around the rest of our games, because you might start finding me in other places than just here. Yeah, but you can always find me here every morning playing with these lovely folks. And tonight I will be playing Carter, the human mage, the most facially branded of the group.
And I'm Val. You can find me on the internets at the Kraken. Jesus, I forgot my own handle. The Kraken's Crown. Lurking around the internet. I switched up like 3 words in my intro, and it just like the whole thing just crumbled in front of me like dust.
Muscle memory.
Yeah, right.
I feel that 100%.
Yep. I run games on this channel from a couple times a week. Other than this game on Mondays, I run also our Saturday game of Parslings, Ward 47. We just started our season 2. So come join us for that. Including some more interlude stuff. We had a lovely time at the beach last time, and we're about to have some dinners with parents next session, so it's gonna be really
we
good.
just keep doing.
It's a game mechanic now at this point.
Can we create a game mechanic around this now of like parent dinners?
We have had more dinners with parents in this one show than probably all of the other games I've ever run combined. It just keeps happening, and I don't know why, but you don't like it. So otherwise, I'm playing in other games throughout the week, Thursdays through Mondays, and over on LB Hackman's channel on Sunday nights, also playing our new Monster of the Week game. Going to bring back an old favorite character of mine. That's it. I'm usually the most exacerbated person in the party. So that's me. Y'all ready to get started?
Do you mean exasperated?
No, I meant what I said.
All right.
Okay.
I meant what I said.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask.
Y'all ready to get started? You're just gonna go ahead and dunk on me right at the beginning.
It was
I've got to talk for 3 more hours.
Do you remember all the shit you said to me last week?
Yeah, I do.
So do I.
So we're gonna do our recap. We talked about it before the stream started, but we're gonna do our recap a bit differently today, given the nature of the narrative, and this is a little more kind of mystery investigative-ish, so there's a lot of information going around right now at this party, and I can't keep track of what I've told you and not told you, so my lovely players here are going to do the recap tonight by recapping what their characters did during the gala. Prior to the gala, I'll cover Garas met up. We got to meet Garrus's dad, his papa, our new favorite character.
We should have dinner with Garrus's dad.
Oh my god, can we?
I'm sure y'all can. I'm sure y'all can make that happen. And Garrett's got some new cool sword out of it and a hat. And then y'all went to the left for the Winter Palace. So when you arrived at the Winter Palace, set up the nature of the evening. We're going to do this in hour-long increments. A couple of the mechanics along the way, but all of you began to do some investigating. So I don't care who goes first, but who would like to describe or at least confirm what their character did and what you learned last time?
Should we just go in order?
Sure, that works. Dan, you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go. So last time, Venehn separated a little bit from the group at the beginning and went to sort of eavesdrop on and integrate into the crowd that was surrounding some of the only non-noble Orlesians at the party, including Garahel, the Elven Grey Warden officer and hero of Antiva. Garahel was giving one of what's probably what Venehn assumes based on what his sister was saying to him, one of many speeches trying to recruit for the Grey Wardens while at the party. And then Venehn sort of got his attention and approached him, got a little one-on-one conversation, got his autograph, and tucked that signature right away with all the other ones he's gonna forge at some point.
What did Yaz do?
Yaz went full no one looks twice at a servant mode and sort of ingratiated herself with the kitchen staff. She found the help passageways, is sort of going through this particular part of the palace, including managing to sneak into the ballroom before anyone else to sort of gauge the best ways up toward the balcony that had been discussed with some of the kitchen staff, where the Empress would be arriving precisely at 8 before dinner would be served at 9. Also noted the sort of more enclosed entrance to what it would be assumed to be the royal quarters, where most at the forefront of Yaz's mind, where she may need to sneak off from her friends at some point to spy on a meeting of some kind. But yeah, got a bit of a lowdown on the way that the evening will fall through. So, yeah.
Thank you, Sid. What did Garrus get up to?
Well, Garas, originally under the guise of being our friendly bard's social second, as in they're duelists, in case anything goes wrong that someone needs to fight for their honor, he would be there to handle it. However, after having a wonderful conversation with Duke Fontaine, he is no longer simple Garas the Second and duelist. No, he is now Duke Venehn. They're now Duke Venehn, and they are now best friends of Duke Fontaine. But also, Garas has a little bit of a second opportunity to clear his family's name, because the person who hired Garas for their last duelist job before he became a thief is currently here at the party. Duke, what's his name? Oh yeah, Marquise Valmont. And he is definitely keeping an eye on him, because he isn't aware if they know he's here or not. So he's going to be currently knobbing it up and hanging out and partying down with Duke Fontaine, while also trying to gather information about this place and find out why Marquise is very unliked among these social circles.
And Carter.
Yeah, so Carter went a little subtle as he can be, and it's just going by the adage that, like, your ears are the best way to hear things, and so he's just chumming it up along with Arlo, and listening to conversations and using his spirit magic ability to just kind of feel people's emotions and trying to see if he can drag anything up. So far, there hasn't been much, although I did find out the already fairly obvious from the way she was talking, but the Marquess Montilion has absolutely no lost love for the Marquis Velmont. As Garas already said, his erstwhile employer, and that might come up in handy at some point.
Perfect. Awesome. So where we ended last time, as you were all waiting outside of the Winter Palace conducting these investigations, the clock chimed 7 after the sun had set over the grand marble columns of the Winter Palace, and the doors creaked open as one of the stewards announced that the ballroom was open for all attendees to calmly enter, and that they would be announced in turn upon proceeding into the ballroom. So you, all of you, I believe in your own guises, made your way inside. So that is where we are picking up here today. As each of you arrives, there's this kind of waiting like entry hall as you make your way up the steps, where all of the nobility and attendees to this gala are currently waiting their turn to enter the ballroom. You can hear some music playing lightly, lifting up through the doors beyond, which stand open, and you can see some light filtering in from a chandelier that hovers above the ballroom. And one at a time, guests are approaching the steward at the top of the stairs, who is announcing their attendance at the ball. Does anyone have any? You all had different guises. Some of you attending with Arlo. Some of your guises have changed. So I wanted to get a gauge of everybody entering. Is everybody entering together, separately? Are you regrouping? I know that Garas is going to be entering with. Are you're entering near
with your new
Marquis
best
or
friend.
Duke
my new best friend.
Fontaine?
Yeah.
Now the real question is, do we keep swapping names?
I think because we this is something we have definitely done many times in the past, of where we have swapped names before. So I think that if the situation demands it, we would have to give each other the high sign from across the room.
Got it.
This I'm trying to decide whether this is enough to warrant a flashback and a preparation roll, but I'm not going to do that here. This is pretty simple. They all decided to change names, and it's not gonna. I'm not gonna hate it at all by the end of this this event. But you, so you're announced one at a time. I know Arlo, as Arlo sort of reaches the front of the group, is alongside Marquis Montilion, and I assume still with Carter as well, nearby.
You mean Sebastian?
Oh, sorry, Sebastian. I'm going to refer to all of you in your character names as much as possible. As you all, as your trio reaches the steps, and Arlo actually moves to the steward and says, I can take this from here," and steps forward and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, would you please turn your attention towards the stairs as the lovely, luminous, effervescent beauty that is Marquis Montilion graces us with her presence this evening," and she steps the stairs, and you like
full on thought this idiot was introducing himself to the room.
and she steps the stairs,
effervescent me.
She steps to the stairs next to him and says, "Maybe a little too much, darling." He says, "I'm only getting started now, and of course, your humble bard for the evening, I need to pull up his name just real quick. Arlanson Raoul Jean-Baptiste Corbert, of course, delighted to see all of you once again. And walks downstairs, and the steward is standing there with a scroll and just checks off a few names and all right then, and turns to the next person as announces Carter, you're Sebastian
Sebastian Valentin Pascal de Cartier, Carter's cousin. And I think when he comes in, especially because Sebastian was a military guy, I think he's going to just go for like a almost at attention and strike his staff down lightly on the ground enough to make a little bit of a thump and have the crystal on his staff just brighten just a little bit for a second, and then give a kind of curt nod and enter into the room.
Okay. Yeah, you certainly get a little bit of attention. The steward announces your name, and people turn, and there's a little bit of the shining, and a couple of if people turn in your direction, obviously being a mage and having some intrigue around that, now being more being sort of confirmed than the fact that you're carrying a staff. And yeah, you descend into the ballroom as well. Okay, so I do need to confirm, Garas, what are you asking to be announced as?
Because now he's a duke. He will be actually announced as, and I looked up a nice name for this. The name is Duke Venehn Raoul Croissant. Look, I looked up Gundam Seed names. That's what I did. All right.
I need you to roll.
Go ahead. Yeah, sure.
A deception.
Drawfee
I get my plus.
Drawfee just did an episode where they drew things based on a Furby name generator, and that's what that sounds like.
Because that's what Gundam names sound like sometimes. They just like throw random words against the wall and like that's what I get. Oh, wow. So that is. Do I get my +4 towards fooling the nobles?
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
That'll be a 17.
Okay, no stunts?
No stunts. I got no stunts out of that.
Okay.
Slide down the banister. That's a stunt.
He looks like to the names on his list and looks back up at you and he says, "Your Highness, I don't have you." And
no, it's totally fine. It's understood.
I apologize for
the
error.
It is totally fine. Like I reach over to I fix their lapel and everything and brush it out.
Yeah, and says Duke Venehn says croissant, and you head down the steps to some strange looks at Duke Croissant.
And like the way he's walking down, like because he has that top hat on his head and he's wearing like the coat with tails, so he takes off the top hat and like, holds it in his hand like this, and he is walking down with the cane, just going like, yes. And then like twirls the hat around, does a flip of it, and just sets it back on his head.
Just like the most subtle of thumbs up. Like, that was awesome. Yeah.
Now I'm assuming that Venehn
exactly
and
what I would have
Yaz
done.
Are not asking to be announced because you are not attendees to the party. You are.
No, we just followed dumb Arlo down the stairs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. You all follow along and you enter the ballroom. I actually put an image of the ballroom on roll for all of you to see. This is the image this is sort of the vantage point you get as you're entering the ballroom. The stairs leading down. There are the balconies that wrap around to either side of you, which some of the attendees are going towards. Some of the attendees are going down to the ball, or to the main ballroom floor, and then across you can see the stairs leading up to a kind of a separated balcony, kind of second tier area, which currently has the ropes that are sort of separating it from the rest of the room. So it is 7:00, and we're going to get started with our actions for this hour. I'm going to go and describe kind of where everybody else in the room goes, so things you may want to get involved in. everyone proceeds in turn, being announced. I imagine some of you you're probably some of the first people to enter, as the more important people wait. So there are more people to hear their arrival. Let's see. Up on the balcony entering, actually, you see Garahel, who a lot of eyes turn towards as he is announced and enters. He does not proceed to the dance floor, actually heads to one of the second floor wraparounds, and moving towards him to engage in conversation is Duke Montfort, who's the right hand of the divine. They move to have a conversation with the two of them. Duchess Janelle enters alongside Duke Montfort, and she heads down to the ballroom floor, where Marquis Mantillon, after giving a politely excusing herself from Arla's company for the time being, has headed over to one of the drink tables, and Duchess Janelle goes to speak with her. So the two of them are engaging in conversation for this part. Let's see, Marquis Valmont, who enters around after them, again, kind of holding himself with a high air, walking with this ebony cane, pauses to be announced, and scans the ballroom, and actually eyes over near where Garahel is, and you think that he's moving over to engage in conversation with Garahel, however, breaks off and actually pulls aside a modest veil to speak with her privately. The two of them actually begin to walk near one of the external balconies that's leading out from the second floor area to speak outside on the veranda. And so those are the major, everybody else just seems to be conversing, dancing, drinking, what you would expect. But those are the kind of the more important events that you might notice here. What would everybody like to do for this hour? You don't have to engage with the people I described. If there's other people you want to talk to or other things you want to do separately outside of this ballroom area, there are other areas of the palace that people are moving towards. I don't think I described all of them, but the dining room is off limits currently while they're preparing for dinner. Servants are coming in and out of the servants' quarters through the passages on the first floor to replenish drinks and restock the tables with the aperitifs. But there is a exterior courtyard that is connected to the ballroom through a rather regally adorned passage, which some people are moving towards, moving outside to speak and continue to converse in the cool evening air. And yeah, those are pretty much everybody's in the ballroom or the courtyard currently.
I'd like to attempt to casually overhear Garahel and the Duke.
Okay, you want to go try to spot, not join in their conversation, but more just trying to listen in?
Yep.
Okay. You can
casually, even if I need to get someone else involved to attend to in that area, I might do that as well.
Okay. You can certainly do that.
Maybe poke Carter.
I was actually thinking about doing exactly what you're doing anyway. So perhaps if I go up to I could stand up on that balcony and just kind of look out over the crowd, but be close enough that either one of us could hear their conversation.
Sure. The two of you can certainly team up on this action. So again, subtly trying to move and observe the conversation without arousing any suspicion would probably be I could see it being done a couple of ways. The most obvious is stealth. However, I would allow for something in the sort of communication etiquette persuasion to do it without arousing suspicion, not more of like a social stealth situation, depending on your preferences. What do either of you have a preference on what you would like to do?
I'd like to do stealth.
Yeah. I guess I'd like to do stealth as well.
Okay.
Move without being
And
seen.
to establish the risks here, it's not necessarily that, like, the risk here isn't necessarily that they're going to see you and, like, attack you on sight. It's more of, like, they move their conversation elsewhere if they believe that they're being eavesdropped upon.
I got a 13 with 1 stunt point if it should succeed.
Okay.
6, 3, 3. That's 9, 12 plus 4 plus 2. 12 plus 4 is 16 plus 2 is 18. And I also got 3 stunt points because I got 6 through
Damn.
3.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to give you, Sia. I'm going to call that sort of a mixed success. You can spend your stunt point to do something if you would like. However, you find yourself kind of moving closer. Duke Montfort definitely eyes you out of the corner of his eye, and you can see him kind of adjusting his position, like as you attempt to find a place to stand. So you gather you can't get close enough to overhear their conversation, but you can get close enough to like read their emotions if you would like.
Would this be an exploration stunt?
I don't know if it'd be
Or an
let
RP.
me check. Let me look at the stunt list and see which one would be more appropriate here. Which I should have had these up already. Advanced role playing. Okay, exploration role playing stunts. I'd probably put this more in the exploration category. Yes.
Okay. If that's the case, there's only one exploration stunt I could do anyway with 1 point, and that's advantageous positioning.
Okay.
So what if perhaps they notice that I might be a little bit close, so they reposition a little bit, but that actually puts it so there's a little bit of an echo.
Okay.
Or something, maybe? I don't know.
Here's what I was thinking.
Because what you're saying is basically I'm in a bad position. The only stunt I can do is putting myself in a good position.
It's in an advantageous position, which might lead you to discovering something else during this time period.
All right, let's do that.
So I'll say you can keep an eye on their conversation, and I'll give you a little bit of maybe one of the surrounding conversations that you might be near. So let's play that out and see what you might pick up. But again, you're close enough that you can read their emotions using your ability, if you wish.
And I would definitely like to do that on each of them.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the scene through with Yaz, because you are able to, in your guise as one of the serving staff, people are intending to notice you, despite being 7 feet tall. You're able to sort of masquerade yourself enough to move amongst the servants and adjust some things and move around to overhear most of this conversation. And
I would like to spend my would this
yes,
also be
your
an
stunts.
Exploration?
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and use my 3 for the object of your attention. You receive a +1 bonus to any further tests to examine or perceive additional things about your object.
Okay. Yeah, and that'll apply forward. So like your next check related to the situation, you can get that +1 on it.
Cool.
Perfect. That's awesome. So and that doesn't have to be during the scene if you don't want to invoke or risk any ire. So you get close enough as they're beginning their conversation, and you catch the end of something that Garahel is saying. He says, well, I very much appreciate your concern. Well, I've got a list of what what titles are referred to. Your Highness.
Duke could be your grace.
I have Your Highness. I have Marquis as Your Grace, according to my research on it. But
I mean, all I've got is like Jane Austen and Bridgerton, so go with what you have.
Yeah, I have for everybody else's reference, because that might be important at some point. I'll go ahead and give that to all of you as part of your research. The Empress would be Your Radiance or Imperial Majesty. A Prince or Princess would be Your Imperial Highness. Duke or Duchess is Your Highness. Marquis or Marquise is Your Grace. Comte or Comtesse is Your Lord or Ladyship, and Baron and Baroness are also Your Lord or Ladyship.
I was gonna try to write it down. Can you paste that in the chat?
Yeah, I can do that. Oh, and a Chevalier or a Knight would be Monsieur or Madame.
Monsieur. I was gonna try to write it down, but I don't type as fast.
And it might be
as
different because
you
it's
talk.
French. Because I know Jane Austen is mostly
Monsieur.
English.
So, yeah, let me post this in the chat for
Thank you.
all of you. There's nothing important on this, is there? No, there isn't. Perfect. All right. So Garahel, I forgot exactly what he had just said, but says, I do appreciate your concern, Your Grace, however, Your Highness, but I believe we should speak on this elsewhere. And the Duke says, "Oh, nonsense! I wanted to get your ear before we got too far into discussions this evening. I want to get a state on things and understand exactly what's going on in Antiva and the current state of the wardens. It is important that we understand exactly how things are, and not just what is being touted by, people such as yourself." And Garahel seems to be a bit caught off guard from this, but maintains a sort of charismatic demeanor and says, well, I'll be frank with you, my lord. Your Highness, I'm going to have to get used to that. Your Highness, things are not well within the Wardens. We've lost a lot of our top brass, and we are currently attempting to make the best out of a bad situation. The current state of things is we are trying to hold out the siege as well as possible, but I fear that come the winter, we will find ourselves in a dire straits without assistance from the Chantry and, the Empress. And the Duke Montfort speaks, or nods and says, and the rumors surrounding the fate of the royal family. I understand that public impression might be that they fell to the actions of the siege and the Darkspawn, but there are rumors that things may not have gone exactly that way. I'd appreciate the truth on the matter. And the Garahel sort of pauses for a minute and says, what exactly did you overhear, if you don't mind me asking? Well, from our resources, we understand that there may have been a coup prior to the Darkspawn attack. And Garahel nods and says, well, if that was what happened, I would hope your Highness could understand the need for discretion on such a matter. Duke Montfort gives a nod and thinks on this for a bit, taking a long pause as he surveys the ballroom below, and says, indeed, Well, I appreciate your time. Carry on, soldier. And Garahel gives a polite smile, and the two break off their conversation. So yes. Okay, you have the +1 forward, so I don't need to give you any additional information there.
Not right now.
The
Where I guess where does the Duke go after this? Do they go to
he
have another
heads-
conversation, or
No, he heads down to the ballroom, to
And
the
what
to the
about
main floor.
Garahel?
Garahel, I think he remains there for a bit, heading out, looking over the balcony. Seems to be enjoying a moment of solitude.
Okay.
Is there anything else you would like to do there?
Let somebody else go. I might get bold and want to talk to Garahel, but I'm not ready yet.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Else.
So Carter, you were reading the emotions of the two of them during that encounter. I'm going to give you your kind of one word summary for each of them. Duke Montfort the emotion that you get from him is worry. And the emotion you pick up from Garahel is regret. But as you're standing there, and again, you can't overhear their conversation, but you can see Yaz and kind of see that she might be picking up more from this conversation that she can relay to you later. You are standing near enough to the edge of the, or kind of along the balcony, that you. Yeah, I think you catch. Who do I want to pick on here? Sorry, I was checking the positionings. Oh yeah, Isaiah, Garahel's sister. She is also kind of standing nearby. And you get the impression that she might have also been listening in on this conversation, giving you an opportunity to kind of read her posture or her emotions as well. As she was like just around the edge of the wall near the balcony, like sipping a drink, but clearly listening in on what was going on.
He's a
And
mage, right?
she is, yes.
Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna try it anyway.
Okay.
I haven't
Does
tried
it
this
have
out
any-
on. It doesn't say.
Okay.
It doesn't say anything about being detectable in any way, but I figure if anybody would be able to, it'd be a mage.
I think the ability is so specific that I don't really see it as something that can be like detected. I research it more if I think maybe creatures powerful enough might be able to tell that you're turning your attention their direction, but I almost read it as more of like your ability is internal more than is like an external force that you're imprinting upon them. But you get a sense from her as she's listening in on this conversation of this emotion that is like gradually fading to, I'd say, anxiety.
Okay.
Since the two of you are engaging in this scene together, I will allow the two of you a chance to speak. I know normally we'll do a check-in with everybody during this, but since you're kind of doing this as a group, if the two of you wanted to converse, you could.
Yeah, I think Yaz will, again, do one of those things where she's gonna look as if she's just sort of keeping eyes out, trying to be attentive, but put her back to Carter, but then sort of say, sort of over her shoulder, there may be more to the demise of the royal family than we initially heard.
I felt worry and regret between the Duke and the hero.
The Duke is concerned about the rumors he's heard. There may have been a coup right before the Darkspawn attack.
Why was Garahel feeling regret at that mentioning? I wonder. Also,
Either
his
he wasn't able
sister,
to prevent it.
his sister seemed to be attempting the same as us, and she feels anxious. There is certainly something going on. Let us meet again and confirm more information when we can.
All right.
Be safe. I might also push it, but I kind of I want to see what Van and
Yeah, we'll do
I
that.
want to see what other folks do, and then
everybody will get
Yeah.
a turn before we do any pushing it for additional information in this scene. So yes, Garas, Venehn, either of you.
Garas sees Marquise Valmont head over to the balcony area to speak in private, and he's pretty much going to do the same thing that Yaz and Carter did. And if there's anyone carrying trays with drinks or anything like that, he will calm and coolly kind of take a drink that is offered to him and make their way over to the balcony to kind of do one of those self-reflecting thought moments of quiet to themselves to look like they're having a moment of self-reflection, but it's eavesdropping.
I'm not eavesdropping. I'm just, having an interior monologue moment.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about dropping no eaves.
Know nothing about it at all. I'm just a humble little duelist with a top hat, eh?
You're a duke.
Oh, right. I'm a duke with a top hat, eh?
So I think this would this be more of again, same offer to you. You can do a stealth, you can do a etiquette roll.
I'll do an etiquette roll, but even though I don't have focus in it, but I'll get my +4 in it anyway, though. So, ooh, okay. That is an 11, and I got 2 5s right there. Oh no, yeah, 2 5s and a 1, so it's 15 rather.
15. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, 11 seems very low for you.
Yeah. And what stunts would that will be exploration stunts?
Yes.
Okay. I think I will take the definitely take oh, yeah, I'll definitely take I'm gonna take object of my attention and an advantageous positioning.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. So you're over listening to the conversation between Marquis Valmont and Amadis Vale. Again, Marquis Amadis Vale is the current captain of the Ruby Drake's mercenary company and a companion to Garahel. The two of them, I think you catch Valmont as he finally sort of approaches Amadis and says, "Oh, good evening, milady. I was hoping to speak with you for a moment regarding some business." And she turns to him and says, "Not really sure what it is that you need from me, my lord. Merely here to attend my companions for the evening." And he says, "Oh, but you see, I have some personal matters that I believe your line of profession may be quite beneficial for me for. I was looking for perhaps contracting your company for some of my own personal endeavors." And she pauses and says, "Well, I'm as flattered as I am, Your Grace. I should inform you that my company is very much tied up with the goings on over in Tiva and in the Free Marches right now. We're currently assisting the Grey Wardens, and I can't really offer much in support taking on new contracts. Perhaps once the Blight has been thoroughly dealt with. We're currently under contract by the Wardens right now." "Oh, well, that is a shame. You see, I understand that your captain here is looking for support for the cause, and I do believe that our business might be mutually beneficial for that reason." She says, "Forgive me, Your Grace. I'm not really keen on the game that you play here in a way. If you could speak plainly and tell me what it is that you're wanting and lay out the terms of your contract, perhaps I'd be able to help you." "Well, of course, let me spell things out as simply as I can. I'm looking to contract a qualified mercenary company for the purpose of ending the siege so that we can turn our attentions back towards establishing fair trade between Antiva and the and Orlais and Valrio. So it would be very much in line with what you're looking for. However, there are some specific roads, trade routes, that I would wish maybe be better protected during the time being. My own information has led me to believe that perhaps there may be darkspawn using some of these routes, and we would benefit from imposing more strict movements of other trading caravans along this way. If you could perhaps, if I could contract a small provision of your forces, of your company, towards securing these trade routes, then I would be happy to negotiate for a very sizable funding for your forces in ending the siege of Habsburg." And she pauses for a minute, says, "That's very generous of you. If you don't mind me asking, to what end does this benefit your business, Grace?" And he says, "I don't see why that would matter as long as I'm compensating you thoroughly. Like I said, it would nearly be a small contingent of your forces needing to secure these trade routes." And she thinks on it for a bit and says, "Well, we would need to talk financing exactly. I'm not sure what you're looking for exactly, how much you're willing to contribute to your cause." And he says, "Oh, I was thinking somewhere in the lines of 20,000 silver." She kind of balks at this. Says, Your Grace, that's very generous of you. I would be a fool to say no, of course. If you bring me the contract, I believe we can make an arrangement. He says, wonderful. Lovely. We'll speak more on the matter further after the gala has ended. She sort of more excitedly says, yes, of course, Your Grace. I very much appreciate it. And he excuses himself and leaves her company.
I kind of want to see what everyone else does before I also push this even further. I, I think for now, all he does is kind of just like watches from the corner of his eye them leave and walk away from her. And he just kind of remains there on the balcony. But yeah, I definitely want to see what others are going to do first before I
Okay.
go to talk to someone yet. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I do have one question though. One question though for the DM. Would Garas know the source of Valmon's income, of like how he makes money?
That is a very good question. To which I will not make you make a roll because nobody really knows.
Okay.
He just has you've worked with him before.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of money. Dubious contracts with
Import, export.
in Orlais. Like again, but there's no like there's not like a like he doesn't have like a public facing business. He just has a lot of money, says it's old money, and that's about it.
Okay. All right. I want to wait till what everyone else does before I talk to someone else.
Okay. So Venehn, that just leaves you.
Great, I
What's
have a very
Venehn up to?
specific plan.
Yes.
Duchess Janelle. Left hand of the divine.
Yes.
Where's she at?
She is currently speaking with Marquis Mantillon down on the ballroom floor near the drink table.
Okay. Does she wear... I know the right hand of the divine has like a symbol that they wear. Does the left hand have one too?
I don't think so. I was actually looking that up. I don't think the left hand of the divine has like an official symbol the same way that the right hand does. It's less of a glamorous position.
You're not supposed to say you have a spy master, but
yeah.
Okay.
If anyone
so
asks, she handles accounting for the church.
Yeah. So she's inside ballroom. I want to go out to the garden.
Okay.
I want to get a good look at Janelle. Kind of see what her aesthetic is. And then go out into the garden.
Okay. To what end?
To creep around.
Uh-huh.
Because she's probably got people here that are creeping around.
Okay. So you want to see if maybe there are some chantry agents who are here skulking around as well?
Some sneaky folk. If I can find any, particularly any that are elven, particularly if there are any that are Dalish.
Okay. Yes.
Doubtful, but
you can do that. Perception seems to be the most appropriate.
Cool. It's probably doesn't have anything to do with fear, huh? For one thing I'm good at.
No.
The fear thing. That's okay, I rolled really good. Okay.
Because that's an empathy thing too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this would be perception seeing, I guess I should say.
I can see. What do I have in perception? My perception's good though. I rolled a 6 and 2 5s.
Oh, damn.
So
That's really good.
10, 16, 19, and 5
19?
stunt points.
Okay. What stunts do you want?
I don't know. What can I...
This would be exploration again. You got 5 stunt
what
points, so you can
stunts
afford
can my
it.
elf eyes see? Oh, God, it's so large. Okay. Got 5.
While you're thinking about that, I did forget Garrus' advantageous positioning. So you do get an extra bit of information. Garrus, as Valmont leaves, you watch as he's there with a few attendants as well, and moves over to one of them and says, sort of leans in. You catch a little bit of what they're saying. It says, I believe that the contract will be in order. Make sure it's drafted up before the end of the night.
Okay, cool. Could I with that advantage, would I be able to like peg the face and like kind of remember that person's face?
Of who he spoke to?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So, all right, Venehn, yes, go ahead with your stunts.
Hear me out. I want to use with a flourish.
Okay.
The manner of your success is impressive to those who are nearby to watch you, because I would like for whoever I clock to be impressed that I clocked them.
Okay. You can definitely do that.
And I get a +1 bonus to opposed tests against them until the time or venue changes. So I imagine for this hour.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And then maybe I'll also do advantageous positioning, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Because they're supposed to be like the sneakiest of the sneaks.
You so you step outside into the cooler night air. There are lots of people meandering around here, conversing, drinking. You can hear a bit of the music filtering in from inside, and you see one of the attendants that has been with the sorry, I forgot her name, Duchess Janelle, is currently out here as well, and is near the edge of the garden. And you see coming out from between some of the hedges, underneath one of the pergolas, is one of the serving staff, and they move kind of close to each other, and you see one of the serving staff seems to surreptitiously like hand something to the attendant, who palms it very slyly. Like, I mean, with a good roll like that, you would have never noticed this. And the member of the serving staff plays it off and like just moving on past, not stopping. And you see this this person, this attendant, tucks the scroll away, and they again look up, and they lock eyes for you for a minute, sort of a knowing glance, as they realize that they've been seemingly made by you, and but plays it off very coolly and just gives like a polite smile and a nod, and then I think continues into the garden.
I'm gonna extremely casually and in a roundabout way follow.
Okay, you want to follow them? I'm gonna give you another stealth check on that, because I think this is part of the same action.
Da, 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 da. I'm really good at those.
And this would be a +1 because this is an opposed test against them.
Okay, so I rolled really good. My dexterity is +5. I have a focus in stealth, so that's +2.
So +7.
My cloak gives me +1.
plus 8.
And the
then
opposed
plus
gives
9.
me a plus 9. And I rolled a 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
So
So 24.
is that the number? 6.
I think so.
11,
406 is 15. Plus 9
15.
is 24.
Yeah, 15, 20, 22, 23, 24.
Yeah. That's very good.
I could kill this person and their family
they
would
wouldn't.
never find out. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
Make a friend here.
they duck into the garden, which again, a lot of like vines hanging off of pergolas and big like tall hedges. There's a central large fountain to the garden. Lots of people around here, and this attendant moves on into the garden, and you follow behind. The Yeah, I think they seem like that you can catch a few times of them subtly like stopping to take a drink and clearly checking to see if you're still nearby. The game being played how it is, probably used to people maybe, getting made like this and hoping to lose you.
This is Venin's favorite game.
But you are able to follow them easily through the garden, and I will say follow them onto whatever they're going to be doing next. But we'll stop it there, assuming your action is to continue to follow them to see if they hand this off to anybody else.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So that was our round of actions for this hour, and we might have additional actions that take place. However, one development that occurs during this hour is probably at about 8:30, maybe quarter till 8. There is a little bit of commotion near the imperial kind of balcony, and you watch as 4 very well adorned armored figures enter the ballroom, each bearing an impressive looking golden halberd. As they step inside and move down the stairs to take up positioning at the foot of the stairs. As some of the royal guard has
I can only
arrived.
mean one thing.
Oh boy.
And, Yaz, you know that the Empress is staged to arrive at 8, so this would fall in line with that. So, any second actions anybody wants to push for?
Oh boy.
Reminder that the difficulty for this hour is 15.
Okay.
I had
Garrett.
another stunt.
Oh, you did have another stunt. What was your other stunt?
Advantageous positioning.
Okay.
I just want to make a discovery.
Oh, what would that discovery be?
I would say I'm in an extremely advantageous position.
Okay. Yes. This is what
Yes!
your advantageous Yes. This is what your advantageous positioning gives you. In addition to this,
Move your big head. I'm trying to discover something.
You're watching them
Sorry.
You're following this person, keeping an eye on them. You notice somebody else moving around the edge of the garden that seems to be keeping an eye on this person as well. You see Wolf.
Sneaky dog. Okay.
All right. So, second actions. If anybody wishes to push. Reminder, it is an etiquette check. And the difficulty of the task is 15.
How bad would it be if I intercepted Wolf?
Depends on how you roll on your etiquette check.
Should I let him do his thing?
I mean,
As hot as Yaz is for Wolf, I fully believe that Arlo and Wolf are up to their own devices on top of just this theft. So
What's
they
what's
have to have their own
etiquette?
agenda.
Communication.
I mean, if you got the bones for it, do it.
I have the audacity for it.
The first point of ire you get isn't as bad. It's just a -1 on social checks in the next hour.
I'm gonna intercept Wolf and try to see what he's up to.
Okay.
I don't
so-
trust him.
Okay. Go to make an etiquette check.
What am I?
You can't stealth out this check. I think I mentioned that
No,
before. But
16?
that succeeds. Okay. So what you come up to Wolf to intercept? them?
Yeah, I'm not gonna like lose sight of the person or anything. I'm just gonna kind of like swing around. Just like come right up behind him. Far enough away that he can't stab me if I scare him.
Okay.
What's a dog like you doing in a place like this?
Wolf Wolf turns on you, and you can see that reflexive like grab towards the ornate like dagger at their hip, and
Wink at him.
they stop. What do you want?
You're very big to move so quietly. What do you want?
The mask turns back towards the event and back to you, and motions moving off to the hedges.
Okay.
You follow someplace secluded behind some of the hedges.
Not too far away though, because I don't want to lose him.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I mean neither of you want to. It says, I have my own business here.
I want to know what it is.
Takes a more like casual posture and says, that wasn't part of Arlo's arrangement.
Well, Arlo probably didn't arrange for me to see you sneaking around in the bushes, did he?
No, that was not supposed to happen.
Come on. Just between you and me.
Make a communication persuasion.
Unless it's deception, I ain't got it, baby.
You're not really deceiving.
No. Okay. Okay. 15?
Okay. No stunts.
No.
Says, I have important business keeping an eye on the game being played here.
So you're following a servant around in the dark.
We both know that they're not just a servant.
What interest does Arlo have in Janelle?
Arlo has interest in all of the activities going on behind the scenes tonight?
Well, I won't deny I have a couple of my own. Tell you what. When it comes to them, if I learn anything, I'll tell you.
I expect you want the same in return.
Mm-hmm. We cover more ground if we split up.
Fine.
I won't
Follow
even
the
charge
best-
you for my services.
You're being paid enough.
Are you?
Plenty.
As friends, then.
You follow the messenger then. I have business elsewhere.
I'll meet you in the garden later.
After dinner.
Deal.
And Wolf moves on past the around the hedges and out of sight, leaving you to follow the servant.
Business.
All right, that was very successful. Now you have a meeting with Wolf after dinner.
I'm pleased with that.
Okay, who's next, if anyone?
So, after Valmon leaves and he hears that information about the contract and everything, he'll take a sip of his drink and casually walk over to Amatis Vale and kind of makes his presence known. And she doesn't have like any special title, does she?
No,
Okay.
captain, I guess.
Okay,
But
He makes it like, excuse me, Captain Vale, is it?
go ahead and do your etiquette check first.
Okay. Oh. That is a 9. 15 plus 4. That's a 19, and I stunt with 4 points.
No stunts on
No
the
stunts?
etiquette check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got a 19.
Okay. That is very good. Good enough. She turns to see you and kind of sizes you up a bit. Says, "I'm sorry you haven't been introduced. Yes, I'm Captain Vale. Your name?"
I apologize for not introducing myself. My name is Duke Venehn Le Croissant. I am currently here. This is my first time in one of these big fancy parties, and I told myself I would not conduct business here. I was planning on enjoying myself while I was here, but hearing that the leader of such a well-known mercenary group as yourself was here, I could not pass up a moment to at least make myself known to you, to perhaps create a nice little business connection with you, if it would be okay.
Go ahead and let's do a persuasion.
What
Now,
I would like to do, though,
okay.
because I have an ability which is called contacts. And if I make a persuasion, if I can attempt to make a contact of an NPC with a successful communication persuasion test.
Okay. Yeah, you can definitely do that. I will say this will not count. Well, no, she is nobility. Yeah, no, you'll get your bonus for this too.
You're realizing what
specifically-
you've done, huh?
Yeah, because she is the second daughter of Fedris Vale.
Yeah, that's
cousin
what
to
I was
Prince
thinking, because
Starkhaven.
I know they didn't have a title. That's why I asked if they have like a title or
Well,
anything.
she does have. She would have a title probably, but she doesn't use it.
Okay.
But she did grow up within nobility.
She's
like
the
I said.
prince's cousin?
She's
The
the
Antivan prince's cousin?
yes.
Right.
She's the second daughter
Of the prince's cousin.
reigning prince of Starkhaven.
Okay. I mean, well, regardless, that is
Starkhaven is not Antiva.
That is going to be a 16.
No, it's not.
That is how much?
A 16.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all are doing great with these rolls tonight.
It'll change.
Yeah, well, don't
It'll
worry. It's gonna
change.
it's gonna run out for me eventually. I know it.
She says, I wasn't expecting to be so popular here tonight. Well, I Your Highness, before we discuss any sort of business, I would need to advise you, at least, that my current interests and the interests of the Ruby Drakes are very closely tied to that of the Wardens. We have sworn our assistance to ending the siege. So if you have any sort of business that you wish to contract us for, that may be delayed by that.
Oh, I see. I hope no one has jumped in line ahead of me and scooped you away from such business.
No, we're very much committed to assisting the Wardens in ending the siege, but we do take on, and we can take on other contracts as long as they are not substantial enough to draw a sizable contingent of our forces. However, I have made prior arrangements to some of my garrison being taken elsewhere. What is the nature of your request?
When she says that part about someone else has taken priority over some of the garrison, he kind of makes like a bit of a sour face. Like he's feigning a bit of a sour face, like kind of disappointment in a way. It was because I'm trying to set up trade routes, and I am very, very nervous that people will come and they will, steal or rob or raid whatever things we try to bring across the routes, and I want to make sure that they are brought safely back and forth between areas. And he kind of glances at the direction where Duke Valmont went, and he's kind of making it look like he's trying to get her to notice that he has a little bit of disdain towards Marquise Valmont. It's just and then he leans in a bit to her and speaks in a hushed tone. I apologize, but are you certain? I saw you speaking with him, and in my own past experience, he is not someone you could trust. He is, as you say, people are... Many people in my social groups, in my social circles, have a bit of disdain towards him. I am not telling you how to do business or anything, but might I suggest that when working with Valmont, you know the story of the frog and the scorpion, yes?
Notices kind of where you're going and says, I think I'm following you.
All I'm saying is that I would like to not try to steal you away from business from him or anything, but I have experience with him, and I feel like it would not be in your best interest to work alongside with them. I'm gonna let you make your own choice and your own decisions and continue business with them, but just remember, the scorpions stung the frog, saying even though they made the deal, it was still in their nature to stab the frog and poison them.
She motions for you to move like closer to the edge of the balcony, and says, "As you may have already guessed, I'm not really keen on the games that Orlesians tend to play, though I understand the necessity of them. Explain to me your concerns as to my working with Marquis Valmont."
I understand as the mercenary, being that you are a mercenary group, you work for the highest bidder. Understandable, that is business, that's how everyone works. I am just worried and concerned that the things that they will be hiring your group to do might may not be of their best intent. Perhaps, yes, they may want to hire you for protection, but just remember, ask yourself this: what exactly does he want you to protect? What exactly does he need to be guarded from? He is not well liked. And there are reasons he is not well liked. The man has money that no one knows where he gets it from. He says it's old money, but even with old money, it comes from somewhere, and it has to be maintained in some fashion. I feel like I have overstepped my boundaries. I apologize.
She holds up a hand and says, "You haven't overstepped, and I will keep this as close to me as possible. I appreciate I'm, again, unfamiliar with many aspects of Orlesian politics, and if I need to be wary of getting into business with the Marquis, then I will take that under advisement. I appreciate your warning."
Of course. It seems that things will be picking up soon. Once again, it was a pleasure to meet you. Perhaps we can share a dance later.
She says, I find I only dance on the battlefield. I find myself 2 left feet anywhere else, but I appreciate the offer.
Of course. As you were, Captain. And he turns, and he takes off his hat, gives a little bow, and he will go to kiss the back of her hand if she accepts.
I don't think so. I don't think that she's that type of person.
And then he will bow formally, taking off his hat, bow formally, put the hat back on, click his heels, and turn to head back inside.
Okay. Garas making big moves.
I'ma fuck up this motherfucker's business for fucking my family over.
Okay. Yaz and Carter.
I was just rewriting Dolly Parton, but I think we're shadowing Gara Hill.
Okay.
I don't want to test my luck trying to talk to the man, because Yaz don't real talk much good, and is also very, very good at sneaking around in the shadows, but if an 8-foot tall Kunari walked up to you, you're gonna remember that person later, and that's not what we're aiming for. So, I think sort of Not sure when this secret meeting will be taking place, but potentially anticipating that it might be occurring before dinner got started. Watching him like a hawk, and will attempt to follow him going up the back staircase if necessary to see where he goes.
Okay. Etiquette check first.
Right. Not bad. That's 2. 6, 3. 6 plus 4 plus 3 is 13. And my communication is a plus 2, so that's a 15 on the fucking dot.
Damn.
Ooh, buddy.
Good. Yeah. So Garahel remains on the balcony for a bit, and you watch as Isaiah, the sister, approaches and taps him on the shoulder, and he turns and gives a nod, and she says, "Can we speak privately?" And he says, "Oh, of course. What do you mind?" And she holds up a hand and says, "Not here. Follow me." And the two of them go walking off into down off the balcony and falling down a side passage. You're gonna need to roll stealth to follow them.
You said this was Garahel and Isaiah?
Yeah, and I guess Carter, you're in on this, in this area. If you want to also do something regarding this.
I had a plan to go up and talk to Isaiah, but I think I'm gonna.
Okay.
We
could play that back, and you could talk to Isaiah before this happened.
Yeah, could we do that?
Yeah, I'm happy.
You're all right with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's totally fine.
Well,
I got a 21 on stealth once we get back.
Yeah, well, that's very good. So yeah, Carter, you can do that. You do need to make the etiquette check first.
Well, tell me if I can do this. I would like. I think this is pretty much the only person and time I could use this idea, but I would like to go up to her and basically just talk shop, talk mage stuff. Could I use magic in place, or even cunning in place of communications on that roll?
For the etiquette roll to what I will say is this won't be your only chance to speak with her. You could try. I would allow that on if you succeed on the etiquette roll to engage in conversation with her if you wanted to roll that. But since I set that up as the rule, I don't want to deviate from it, because then if I give a mouse a cookie, y'all are going to ask for lots of other cookies. So
no, that's fine.
I'll do the etiquette.
I'll just go ahead and do the etiquette roll.
Yeah.
It's going to be my best chance to get it.
Because like I said before, I don't know if I said it, you still get to do what you were trying to do. If you fail it, you just gain the point of ire.
Well, I gained a point of ire.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
So yeah, you get we got our first point of ire, which means you have a -1 on social checks for the next hour. But you can still do what you were trying to do. I think as you move over to speak with her, you can sense a little bit of hesitancy as from her and perhaps a couple other people as they notice you kind of directly approaching her, not doing so maybe a little more directly than you meant to, given that you've already been kind of standing here in the midst of their conversation. So people are kind of notice what you're doing a bit. But you can you approach, and she clocks you as you walk up. And what do you say?
Forgive me. It would appear those of our order are clearly outnumbered here, and I have always found myself to be one more interested with my studies than social gatherings. Please, if it would be all right with you, could we discuss perhaps some magical theory? Perhaps you could tell me your experiences fighting the Darkspawn. I would like to know what sorts of magics you found beneficial.
Okay, I will allow you to roll. You can roll magic for this. I don't know if you have a focus that might be applicable here.
I got to focus in spirit and no focuses in communication, so just
Okay.
probably just straight magic.
Okay.
That's a 15.
Okay. She seemed a little bit hesitant at first, but then like catches, listens to what you're saying, and you're clearly walking with the staff. You made that kind of presentation earlier when you're walking through, and she was a sigh. She says, gives a light smile, and says, "Of course. I did not expect to find others of the circle here. It's a pleasure, as always. Which circle do you hail from?"
Orlais.
As I'm sure you have probably guessed, given my company, I was formerly a member of the Antivan Circle before it fell for many years. What matter of theory do you wish to discuss? You said related to Darkspawn.
Yes, I fear in these coming times it may be beneficial for us to share as much information in how to defeat these vile beasts.
I agree with you wholeheartedly there. I unfortunately have had far too much experience fighting the creatures on my own, and suffice it to say, they are every bit as terrifying as the stories would lead you to believe.
Ferocious, I am sure, creatures full of vile emotion.
Yes, it seemed to be more animal than sentient being, as far as I could tell. My brother might have more to say on the subject, but speaking on magic, when they attacked the circle, we had a difficult time defending ourselves. Many of my order were embedded themselves within the warden garrison to bolster their forces, but unfortunately our arcane abilities were less effective on them than we would have hoped. We expected as such. I think there's quite a bit of literature out there on their resistance to many of our incantations, but it's one thing to see it in person. When a creature such as that, lumbering and hulking, and you throw everything you can at it, and the fire just simply washes over it. It's terrifying.
You have my apologies. Tell me, do you have any theories on why creatures restricted from the Fade would seem to have such a strong connection to it?
Well, to mull it over myself and in my contemplations when I've had the moments to consider it, I wonder if they are as separate from the Fade as we once thought. The legends of the creation of the Darkspawn would tie their corruption back to the corruption of the Fade itself. So there has to be some connection between the Blight and some influence from the Fade. We don't fully understand. Even the Wardens have a difficult time understanding exactly what the Blight is and how it spreads. I'm sure you know the joining and at least familiar with the Grey Warden practices. I've asked my brother on several occasions to divulge more secrets, and there are many that the Wardens keep close, even to family. I only wish it wasn't so. I believe there's much more that we can learn and understand about the Blight without these archaic limitations.
Perhaps seeking the answers within the Fade may shed illumination on the subject. I have an affinity with the magics of spirit, and it has always been, as I mentioned, a curious relationship to me. They are from the Fade, and yet one would never find a dark spawn in the Fade, would you?
She she pauses on that and says, "No, I suppose you wouldn't." I'm sorry. Bad memories coming to mind.
My apologies again. Please, thank you. You have you have calmed my anxiety. I appreciate your company. If you find yourself wishing to speak of such matters again this evening, I would be most welcome to it.
Of course. I'll find you. I apologize, sir. I did not get your name.
It's Lord and Sebastian Valentin Pascal de Cartier.
Was that pause in character, or was that just you trying to remember? I was just curious.
I think it could be in character. Yeah.
Okay. She thinks on a moment and smiles and says, "I'll find you later in the evening. I'm sure more things will come to mind. I have had little interaction with the Orlesian Circle, unfortunately, and I find sharing knowledge amongst my brethren is important to the furthering of our study."
I am at your disposal.
I don't mean to ask and to be impolite, but I did hear there were rumors that there was an attack on the Orlesian Circle very recently. Is that true?
I am certain, as the nature of rumors is to exaggerate, that not all of what you have heard is accurate. However, yes, there was a rending of the place between here and there. It has been healed, but as I said, these are dark times, and it would be wise of us to prepare for darker.
I agree with that sentiment wholeheartedly. And she kind of looks over her shoulder and sees Garahel alone and says, I have some other business to take care of, but I would like to speak with you further on these matters later in the evening.
It would be my pleasure.
Thank you. Please excuse me.
Cool. And then Carter goes shits his pants somewhere.
Did a great job. She moves to speak to Garahel, kind of fast forward with lovely timey stuff. And Yasmera, you follow the two of them around this corridor, ducking behind a column as you then find a quiet, secluded area to speak. And as she has pulled him away, she looks at Garahel and says, I saw you speaking with the Duke. I overheard part of the conversation. And Garahel nods and says, unfortunately, yes. He was asking very pointed questions, and I fear he probably knows as much as we had expected. That's not good. I fear they're not going to lend you the support that you need if they're too hesitant. If they understand the true nature of things there, I fear their support might be slow coming. And Gerhalnar says, I'm sure I assuaged his fears as much as I could. The true test will come during our meeting later. Of course. Do you think we will gather the support that we need? Garahel seems hesitant at that point and thinks for a moment and says, Sister, if I could see the future, I would tell you, but I have no idea. It's strange coming home, seeing all of this, how different it was when we were younger, how different it is on this side of things. She smiles and places a hand on his arm and says, "We've changed too. It'll be fine. I'll be there by your side. We'll find a way to make this work." And he nods and says, "I just hope it's not too late." And he kind of looks outside and thinks for a moment and says, "Well, we better return. The Emperor should be arriving, and we should enjoy ourselves while we can before we get down to business after dinner." And she says, "Right. Oh, one other thing. You saw him, right?" And Garahel nods and says, I did. I wasn't expecting to see him here, but I think we should just maintain our distance. For everyone's safety. Of course. Let's return. Come." And the two of them head back to the ballroom as you, I assume, duck around the column, as to avoid being seen.
Juicy, juicy, juicy.
And as that concludes, we'll give a chance for the four of you to reconvene and share what knowledge you have before we move on to the next hour. But that's where we're going to go and take our break here, because I think that's the best point. So thank you everyone for watching this dramatic. Y'all are doing great. Everything that I wanted. This is exactly
Intrigue!
the intrigue that
I say.
I wanted here. So thanks everyone out there for watching. We will come back in a few minutes after we've taken a break, and we will see you back here very soon. Stay tuned. Back everyone. We're doing intrigue today, and we're just gonna jump right back into
I thought you were
it.
going to say, we're doing fine.
We're doing fine.
We're doing fine.
Fine.
So we have finished up, or we are about to conclude our second hour of the evening. What I want to give, again, the chance at the end of every hour for you all to come back together and discuss what you learned. I will say, then you can still do that and not lose your tail on them. We'll work something out. Maybe they came into the room or something, but I want to give you the opportunity to be able to share information.
Okay.
So
It'll just be a farther. I'll have everyone meet me out in the garden before dinner.
yeah, you can meet like between the gardens and or you can meet in the gardens or wherever. Yeah, definitely.
Can I get just like a quick, like, one sentence summary of what everyone learned? Because my brain's melting.
Yes.
We'll do that. Do you want to do that in character or out of character?
Oh, I don't care.
Okay. We do
Well,
that.
we've only got an hour, so let's just sum it up out of character. Here we go.
Yeah.
The Duke has heard the rumors about that the royal family may not have actually fallen to Darkspawn. They may have fallen to a coup that may have happened shortly beforehand.
The royal family of
Antiva.
Antiva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Garahel hinted, if it happened, maybe we should use some discretion. And the Duke said yes. And then, Asaya and Garahel had a conversation that they confirmed, a coup happened. The royal family most likely killed by coup.
Okay.
And Garas would mention that that Marquise Valmont is hiring the the Ruby Drake Mercenary Company to, despite the fact that the Ruby Drake Mercenary Company has already currently providing as much manpower as possible to the Warden, he pretty much used his deep pockets to try to secure some kind of protection for the trade routes to Antiva. and the contract hasn't been signed yet, but they had the contract for the job is here in the at the facility, and Garas would mention that he knows the face of the person that Marquis talked to about the contract, and would let them all know who this person is and see if possible if they can get the contract from them or do something to try and find out what exactly why they want to secure these routes, because he's such a man of his money is so mysterious and he's not well liked, so there has to be a reason why he wants all this protection.
And this is Duke Fontaine?
This is Marquis Valmont.
Marquis Valmont, okay.
Yeah. Also, Garrus
Got
also
it.
mentioned that he made
that's
a
the
business,
cane man.
yeah, and also he also mentioned that he made a business contact with Amadeus Vale.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot too. Asaya and Garahel said, "Did you see him?"
And we don't know who that is.
And we don't know who him is, but they did see him and said to maintain distance for everyone's safety.
Venehn assumes it's him.
Yeah, Garrus doesn't assume that it's him also.
So Carter doesn't have a whole lot, nothing really factual, but I've got I have an idea that I'm going to try to follow up on that Asaya and perhaps vis-a-vis her brother, the Grey Wardens, know about the Darkspawn in the Fade and aren't wanting that information to come out.
Okay. And Venehn has clocked one of the... Well, she's not the Nightingale in this one, but the left hand of the Divine. One of Janelle's... a couple of Janelle's spies. A couple of Chantry spies. And sees that they're definitely at least passing off what looked like a scroll or something. And also Wolf and Arlo apparently have other business here as well.
Which we knew. I mean, they said they had other stuff going on, so.
But we didn't know what it
Wolf
was, and Venehn is pleased that he's gonna find out what it is.
But it's also that Wolf is being sneaky, which is very...
In heavy armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, Venehn has clocked that. as, like,
I should
Assassin
specify.
armor,
Yeah,
straight
he's
up
not wearing
assassin
heavy
crew.
armor. Yeah.
Well, all
Wolf
armor's
is a
heavy.
sneaky individual. I should specify that. It's not like it wears
I think the
ornate.
problem is a lot of us are just imagining Blythe from Elden Ring, and that's
No.
not it.
No.
It's not it.
Wolf is about the same height as Venehn. And
little?
yeah.
He's just a little guy?
I
Yeah.
thought he was taller.
I thought
Yeah.
he was...
Maybe
Yeah.
slightly taller than Venehn, but no. About the
Oh
same
man,
height.
Suddenly
yeah,
Yaz likes
So, like-
some snoo.
We'll
So
be
as far
there.
as Yaz is concerned, like knee-high to a frog, like...
Yaz is gonna throw that little man
I
over
don't know
her
why
shoulder.
I thought he was tall. Again, I think my brain
No.
immediately went to Blythe, and I just didn't.
No, yeah, y'all went there and didn't come back. And,
Sorry.
yeah, I need to correct that before we got too much further. Yeah.
Okay.
Wolf is not large and imposing. Wolf is
But it-
not average.
only in
It's pretty
personality.
svelte. Yes, only in personality.
Okay.
Okay. So you confirm that information. If you'll want to do any planning for what you need to do in the next hour.
But yeah,
Yes.
mostly Venehn just wanted to communicate, like, hey, when they say they have other business here, they're meaning, like, following what the left hand of the Divine is up to kind of business. Like, not like, oh, let's get Arlo a cool recording deal.
I feel like probably Yaz would peg that Garrus
Wolf?
wants to.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, besides that,
Yeah.
I knew you were going to
Besides
do that.
Yeah.
As soon as I said the word peg, someone's gonna make a pegging joke. Someone's gonna make a pegging joke.
Yeah.
But they would. I think Yaz of all people would realize Garrus wants to ruin this man's life. Like he wants to fuck him over, and I think Yaz may pick up on that the way he was the way he relayed that information. To
I'm
them.
not going to make another pegging joke, but I could. Okay.
not? Coward.
I mean, they already said it. Like, I was just pointing it out. So, Yaz will also mention, if we need to go about our primary course for the evening, most of the leadership of the Grey Wardens and the Divine will be convening after dinner. So around 10 o'clock. That may be a good time. I would assume at least some of the guard would be present at this meeting, but probably not all of the guard.
Should we use that time for our advantage to take the halberds and make the switch?
Perhaps.
So 10 o'clock.
Around that time, I would suggest we keep an eye on the important ones, such as, well, the Divine herself, Garahil,
I
the right hand,
I
and the
feel
left.
like if one of us can at least secure ourselves in that meeting, to at least keep an eye on the meeting itself and make sure it doesn't go too long, or if we have to make it go longer.
I could keep an eye out.
I already made contact with the captain. I think I can perhaps get myself into this meeting. It will be very difficult.
I think our best bet in this situation may be to do this as inconspicuously as possible, and I think, if I may say, my gifts may be better suited to it than yours.
Understandable. Okay.
For what it's worth, I'm planning on trying to get as much of the lay of the land I'm not supposed to be in. And it's just like keeping an eye on this person that he's been following. So we'll see how far in I can get. But I don't plan on being seen for the next few hours. So.
Same.
I think we're just going to assume that we will not be making contact with each other for during this hour.
How are we going to carry these things out of here?
The instrument cases. We'll have to find a way to either get the cases to where we need to go and then take them out as inconspicuously as possible. It's really the only way that I can see it, other than somehow taking them apart, which may cut into their value.
Based on the size of the halberds I can see in the other room, I sincerely hope Arlo is a trombonist.
I will say, in your preparations, Arlo bought their instrument cases large enough to smuggle the.
Let me make my funny trombone joke.
Yeah.
I like it. I thought perhaps an upright bass, but
A cello?
Oh, maybe, yeah, or a double bass?
Yeah, there are definitely a couple cello cases.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to get the cases somewhere inconspicuous, and I'll work on the,
would we know where Arlo's performance should be taking place so that maybe we can sort of inconspicuously start bringing accoutrements up?
Yeah, so it will be, Arlo will be performing in the ballroom in here. However, the orchestra and the other instrumentalists there's sort of like a acoustic, like, kind of antechamber within the ballroom that they are performing in, and then there's probably like a servants there's like, they're keeping their instrument cases or anything in like some of the servants' quarters. So.
Perfect excuse to be up in the servants'
Yeah,
mix
I would
them
say,
in with the
because
rest.
that's enough that would have been planned ahead of time. Is like, this is your out to get these
Gotcha.
out of here if you can get them here unseen. There's probably like one empty cello case.
2.
Well, one case would hold both of the halberds
Okay,
if it didn't also
They're
have a
not.
cello
They're
in
not
it.
as wide.
I've
yeah,
seen
so-
halberd. I've seen halberds in person. I've seen cellos in person. Never seen a halberd in person.
Halberds are like, they're like about as tall, like maybe.
I mean, I know
inches shorter
big.
than me. Yeah, they're
They're long.
Yeah.
halberds are Wally sized.
They are my size.
Halberds are Wally sized.
They are
Yeah.
Wally sized.
So
Yeah, we could probably unscrew the tips.
they'll fit. We'll just say we've hand wavy. I'm not going to make y'all decide to like snap the halberds in half to get them out of here. That would defeat the whole purpose of the heist.
Since we're taking more than one.
So there's an empty one, and then I'm assuming there's another one where we actually have the duplicates already.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, the empty one would have the duplicates in them right now because you're not leaving with the duplicates.
Yeah, so we just brought the duplicates in. We're gonna take those out,
In the
replace
empty
them. bring
one.
those back.
Yes. Got it. Okay.
Okay. So I'm just gonna clock where that case is and hope that these noodle arms can do the job.
Yeah.
That's why I'm starting. It's like almost 8, so I'm gonna start now. This isn't gonna be easy.
2 hours later.
So around this time, the clock tolls and there's a bit of commotion in the ballroom. And I will allow whoever wishes to return to the ballroom for the arrival of the Empress to return. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and I'm going to go and describe the events as they're taking place within this within 8 o'clock. The difficulty for 8 o'clock is still 15. It's going to start going up after this hour. As some of you return to the ballroom, the dancing has stopped, the music has ceased, and there is a bit of a stir as everyone kind of proceeds back inside. You can see Garahel and Asea on the floor as well. I mean, everybody's sort of on the floor. Nobody's on the upper levels at this point. And there is a clunking sound as a door to the royal apartments opens, and out come 2 more royal guards. You have, again, y'all haven't clocked which one is which, and I assume somebody is going to need to do that at some point to figure out which guard is which guard that you're trying to steal from. But the one that comes out with...
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Would Venehn have sort of any idea of which one the Remy is? Adnan Remy is?
I was
we-
just about to ask like if this was
We
going to be
did
like a
some good
flashback
research
thing, you know?
on them too.
Did, but it's not like you have a photograph or something. I mean, you're gonna have to find out who. That's part of the challenge here is to
Okay.
figure out which one is which.
Okay.
Lady Richelieu
So-
was like, the one with brown hair. And then it's like
They're all
Every-
brunettes.
They're
it's like
all
every
wearing
season of The
helmets.
Bachelorette where all of the guys are just like basically the same. Like,
Yeah.
oh fuck.
However, I can eliminate one of the 6 off of your list as one coming through is wearing, whereas most of them wearing blue capes and this ornate golden armor. One of them, their capes is a matching sort of gold with blue embroidery, and is walks out just before the Empress arrives. Is a very just thick as a brick, very like sort of rough looking sort of older individual that you can assume is the captain of the guard, as he proceeds out and stops regiment in a regimented position, as following him, and gracing the courtroom to the sound of applause, is an elegantly dressed woman wearing a white diamond encrusted dress with long and flowing behind her in an impossible train that seems to be that's gliding across the floor behind her with a few attendants approaching, and she wears a silver or platinum crown upon her head that is adorned with a enormous sapphire upon the tip, and the steward has been announcing, says, "Please greet the Empress Genevieve the First, and everyone sort of applauds and politely, but it fills the ballroom as she approaches that sort of the upper stairs and descends down to that slightly raised dais just above the ballroom, where her royal guard, 2 flanking her on either side, the other 4 at the foot of the stairs. And she's, as the room goes quiet, she holds up a hand and says, "I welcome all of you to the Winter Palace this evening, and it is a pleasure to see so many familiar and glowing faces amongst this crowd. I am truly humbled and secure in my belief that Olay stands, and Valrio as its crown jewel, at the pinnacle of Thedan society." And there's more like applause as she does, and she says, "I wish to, of course, extend a special welcome to our guest of honor this evening." And she gestures down towards the front, towards Garahel, and says, "Grey Warden Captain Garahel, the hero of Antiva." And everyone sort of applauds almost as loudly as for the Empress, and says, "Now, I understand that these are dire times we live in as the Blight approaches, and my heart breaks for the tragedy that has befallen our neighbors to the east. When I heard the fate of the royal family, I wept for the sake of that. Not only has the pinnacle of has the leaders of their great nation fallen, but for them as a family, for the children, for the parents, for the people of that great city that fell victim to the darkness that has washed over them. And if not for the brave actions of those such as Captain Garahel, that all might have been lost on that day." And there's some more, like...
Is
more
she full of
somber
shit?
applause. Do you wish to make an insight, perception?
Oh, hell
I
yeah.
kind of want to do that too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I think it's perception. Let me double check, but
It might
I
be
think that is
empathy.
yeah, empathy might be what it falls under. Yeah, but it is a
that
perception.
cunning
skill.
still? It's
No,
a perception?
Perception.
Okay. That's 655. 5
Okay.
on the dragon. Okay, so that's 10. 5 with my perception is 15. Plus a 6. 21.
Sorry, I just read the chat. 21.
Just as a reminder, we hate rich people.
Yeah, I mean, this is clearly a practiced speech. Like she is clear. There's a sense of this as being rehearsed, which is not unheard of. I mean,
Sure, she's addressing a bunch of important people. She
Yeah.
practiced. Makes sense.
I mean, there's definitely some exaggeration to it. You doubt she wept when she heard about it. There's some hyperbole here, but I don't think you get the sense that she's standing up there and like, you know, like there's not like anything insidious that you're picking up from her right now, based on what you're hearing. Full of shit, maybe half full.
Okay. Containing shit, not full of shit.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah. She says, after a pause and the applause stops, she says, "Now, we here, Orlesians, those residing within Valrio, can understand the threat that this poses upon us. Within our very walls, we have suffered a similar loss, but a few weeks ago, as our own circle was under siege from malevolent forces that we barely comprehend, and it was through the grace of the divine that this was brought to bear and no more lives were lost. And through the exemplary actions of the Templar Order and the actions of our own city guard, that this incursion did not spill out onto our very streets. And I am thankful for the sacrifices that were made to continue to keep my people safe. And there's some more applause and an interlude to her speech. She says, "What I have come here today to say, and why all of you are gathered, is to stand in support of me and our imperial throne, as we stand with the wardens to provide every aid we can to those that have suffered the impact of the blight. I pledge that before the night is through, in conversations with the Grey Warden Garahel, as well as those distinguished representatives of the Chantry, that we will come to an agreement that will benefit both our nation and that of Antiva, and the actions, the heroic actions of the Wardens themselves." And there is a bit more applause as she finishes. Some like a little bit more subtle as people are sort of trying to understand exactly what is being promised and like what the plan's going to be, how it's going to affect Orlais. There's some whispering about that as the idea of being conscripted into the Grey Wardens seems to be something on everybody's minds. But fear not, my fellow Orlesians, for Val Royeaux and our great nation stands strong and will continue to under the Maker's will. Thank you. And there's more applause as she finishes her speech. And as she ends, she motions to the guard captain to her right, and he gives a nod and steps forward past the line of the guards in front of him. You assume this is Guard Captain Stoiber, who parts and motions to Arlo to move to up to where the Empress is, and Arlo gives a bow as he does, stepping forward and moving up in front of the Empress, who says, "And of course, on lighter news, I wish to formally recognize my dear friend, Arlanson Raoul Jean-Baptiste Corbert, as our official imperial musician, and I hope that his songs and his words, as they have inspired and kept my heart in peace, will inspire the rest of you this evening. Please." And she steps aside and begins the applause towards Arlo, who gives a very deep, exaggerated bow in front of her, and turns to everyone and smiles. And as the Royal Guard proceeds up the stage, some of the musicians move up, and Arlo begins to perform and sing for a beautiful melody
Is he good?
for the court. Oh, Arlo's fantastic. Yeah, Arlo's has a beautiful singing voice, and
I just started a very fun replay of Witcher 3, so all I can hear in my mind is Priscilla, but if he sounds like that, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, he again is very good, very good. So
while that's happening,
Mhm.
can we sort of clock the rest of the guard that we can see and look for baby boy?
Sure, make a perception
Yep.
seeing check.
Find the man
Have
I
a
want
focus
to
on
ruin.
that.
I will give that to you outside of your normal actions if you
Thank
should
you.
like.
Sid and I are sharing the brain cell today. Can I do the same thing, but just do the emotion sense on any of them, on all of them? See if like one sticks out as being a little extra nervous.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
'Cause
that's a
maybe
good
it's
point.
just first time.
We'll do another. I guess it'd be empathy. I know you can get their emotions, but it's like trying to pick out like.
Damn, I should be here.
Which one's
Empathy,
one or
fear is my
something?
one thing. I'm outside doing crime.
654. Total of 22.
Okay.
Empathy is under perception. Is that right?
Yes,
Is
that
that the
is.
perception roll I'm making? Okay. Yeah, I only got a 12.
Okay. You do pick out. I will say, kind of. There are a few that are like ice cold, no nerves, just like vigilance is all you get. Especially from the captain. He is a
We're just calling
And
him
that's
Brick
Brick
Shit
Shit House?
Yeah, that's
Brick
Brick
Shit
Shit
House.
House.
Okay.
That is he is a paragon to his charge, and he remains very close to the Empress as she moves around. The rest of them, most of them don't seem nervous. There are a couple that seem like more kind of on edge than others, more surveying around. Yes, you do underneath the helms, kind of looking through.
We were talking about this in the Discord. So Brick Shit House, obviously not Adnan. We've got at least 3 that had femme names, so perhaps.
So there are 3 women and 3 men amongst the royal guard.
So we've narrowed it down.
Narrowed it
So
down
2.
to added 2.
And you do catch one of the men is significantly younger than the others, and you
Bingo.
clock him. Yeah. I will mention Venehn has your special quest to your side quest to steal the blade from Dia Mikhail, who would be one of the 3 women, you assume. Which one?
Well, he was my quest to ruin, and then we picked another one.
I thought Dia was Dia. No, yeah, Dia was the one y'all picked.
Yeah,
That's
she's
right.
the one that
So,
we
yeah.
picked.
Adenin is your.
Yeah,
is your,
that's the one that Lady
That's right.
Richelieu was like, yeah,
So
end his
yeah,
career.
I mean, y'all can. So your second steal can be from.
Was
any
just
of
for
them.
funsies. Any of the femmes.
Okay, but y'all were going for. I guess any of the 3 women. So yeah, you sexist motherfuckers.
What? Absolutely not. We're doing one of each. This is equality.
Fucking equity is what it is.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that is your you do clock which one
Equal
that you have.
opportunity thievery, all right?
You have great cause to believe that the one you have picked out is Adenin. You can see a little bit of a spill of like blonde hair underneath, a little bit more baby faced than the others. And Carter is definitely one of the ones that's nervous. So that is the information you get. Let me give you your setup for this hour. We won't get through the 8th hour, but we might be able to get through an action or 2. As the Empress finish and Arlo receives his appointment and begins to perform, there's only really one. I mean, everyone kind of moves off their own spaces. There isn't as much activity of note throughout all of this, but people return to dance. So some dancing, some moving off towards the edges. The left hand of the Divine Duchess Janelle actually heads off to the courtyard. Along, I would say, who else moves off? Would move off that. I think Garahel and Asaya are staying in the ballroom. Amadis probably also moves to get some air out in the courtyard. Duke Fontaine is on the back up to the upper balcony, slouching over it, drinking as
Please
much
don't
as
let him
possible.
fall.
I think there's probably a moment where Duke Fontaine like moves to go say hi to his cousin and goes up to the guards who stop him, and she gives kind of like a polite nod in his direction and like that raises a hand to say, as a very subtle wave towards him, to acknowledge his presence, but he is he is too shit faced to be allowed anywhere near her. And the only other thing of note is near the edge of the ballroom, you see Marquis Valmont amongst a crowd of people that are currently speaking with her, approaches Marquis Mantillion and asks her to dance, which she politely accepts, and the two of them begin to dance. But that's all the activity right now during this hour.
I'm doing crime outside.
I'm gonna stoke the fires of a possible Garas Carter ship here, because equal opportunity shipper here as well. I'm gonna poke the both of you, half kidding, and be like, "Why don't the two of you go have a dance? See what you can hear."
This is an excellent idea. Come on, Carter. And I will take Carter to the dance floor. And I will whisper to Carter and say, "Do you think you can get a read on that gentleman right there?" And I kind of motion towards Marquis Valmont.
Certainly.
And I would like to once again try to eavesdrop on if they're having a conversation as we dance.
Okay. We'll do our first action then. So the two of you are dancing, and I believe both of you are trying to keep tabs on them, Carter on their emotions, and here's okay. So what I'll do is we can do the same thing as last time, Carter. If you want to try to listen in, you can. If you all want to kind of double up, and then Carter, you can fall back on just your emotion reading if you would like.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'd also like to put out there that I rolled a 14 on a performance for dance.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, what you got, Wally?
Shannon's mad that he's
You know what?
missing the
I'll give that to
dancing.
you instead of the perception, Carter. That positions you well enough.
I got a 6 and a 6 and a 5.
Damn,
Fuck yeah.
all these rolls.
We're cutting up the dance floor.
I like
Got
to
them
think
fire
so-
feet.
I would like
Zagreus
to
over here.
I would like to think that with that roll, what stunts would this be for? Would this be exploration stunts, or would this be like
This would.
It feels
you
like
were not
role-playing.
dancing. Well, so you were rolling to perceive, not to perform.
yeah.
Right? So you're probably looking at exploration stunts.
Okay. I would
Carter
like,
is leading, so I'm assuming Carter's leading. The performance was Carter's.
I'm definitely going to go with a flourish. Your manner of success impressive. Those who nearby watch you. You have a +1 bonus, so opposed is against them. And advantageous positioning.
Okay.
And I think the
You're all gonna have to keep track of the opposed tests that you get the bonus on, because I'm not gonna be able to remember who you have the bonus on and against who, because I know you got one last scene too, but that was for
what's her name? For going up against what's her name? I think.
no, that was for Valmont, but that was
yeah,
the opposed test against Valmont. This is not.
Yeah, I still have one against Hill too, so
Yeah.
hold on to that.
Okay.
I have one too.
Actually, can I, instead of doing it for the floors, can that be object of your attention? You hear +1 to test, examine, or perceive additional aspects of stuff towards like trying to eavesdrop
yeah.
on these two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so yeah, definitely that and advantageous positioning, and I think because I got such a high roll with that, and because Carter is leading, I kind of think that I draw the attention of a modest veil. Because since I did ask her to dance earlier, and kind of like saying, you know what, you kind of missed out on this.
Okay. Sure. I'll give you that. The two of you are dancing in this like synchronized kind of spin through the dance floor, trying to stay as close to Valmont and Mentilion as possible, as the two of them are engaging in conversation as they begin to dance. I'm going to say you don't, as well as you did, they're still dancing, and you don't necessarily pick up everything that they're discussing, but you do catch some pieces as they move close to you, and you hear Mentilion, the Marquise, say, "What is it that you want, Valmont?" And he says, "Oh, nothing other than to dance with you, of course, my darling." She says, "I know that that's not true. What is your game here?" And he says, "Well, I just wish to follow up with you on my proposal." And the two of them sort of dance away. And as you get back kind of closer, engaging up with them, she says, "And as I said before, I will never accept in 1,000 lifetimes. I have absolutely no interest in tying my fate to yours." And the two kind of spin away. And as you get closer again, he says, "But I think you might wish to reconsider if you wish your business interests to stay intact." And he follows and says, "I know that you spoke with the Duchess earlier, and I'm sure she has her own wishes given your company, but I can guarantee that if I have anything to say about it, you'll never see another coin from that trade unless you accept." And the two kind of continue to move away. However, as they continue to dance, there's some other exchange that is made on the edge of the floor, and they stop dancing. And she moves back and she says, "You are a snake." And she says it's loud enough for like everybody in the ballroom to hear. And says, "And I wish to never see your face again." And she storms off out of the room.
I look at Carter like, oh shit, Carter, did you hear that?
And I'm guessing I felt a whole lot of animosity coming off of Amatis. What was I feeling from Velma?
Or from Mentilion?
Yeah, Mentilion. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just hatred, pure hatred. And well, yeah, hatred. And from Valmont, satisfaction.
Okay, so it definitely sounds like no, he is not wanted here at all. He has a bad reputation, and from what I discussed with Captain Valdez is that he's trying to make some kind of deal, and he's willing to throw as much money as possible at it to make it happen. I don't know, maybe blackmailing her, or he has something on her, but I need to explore this further.
My friend, I offer my help to you in every way that I can. However, I would caution, we have a goal here tonight. As I said, I will help you in any way. But be careful. Do not overextend yourself.
Carter can easily read off of Garas, and it's like he wouldn't even have to use his ability. That Garas he's kind of seething with determination right now. He has a lot of determination coming from him that you can tell that he's trying his best to focus on the mission, but this is someone that he does not like. This is someone that ruined his family name, and he really wants to get them back and ruin their life completely.
Come up with a good plan, my friend, and we will all help you execute it.
Thank you, Carter. Hit me. And he leans back into a dip with Carter. And as he does that, he like locks eyes. He tries to lock eyes on Captain Vale in a way of like, did you hear that? kind of way.
By the way, I like to think that Carter's been practicing since his date with Venehn last week.
Yeah.
Like he was really awkward during that, and he had to practice all week. It's like the one thing he got done prepared for the ball.
Yeah.
Was learn how to dance.
Can that be the flashback? Can we have the flashback of Carter practicing dancing in his room?
Yeah. Yes, I'll give that to you for free.
Oh, wait, I like the flashback of Venehn coming to him being like, okay, listen.
You gotta work on that.
This.
My guy.
Yeah.
My guy.
I love it. Yeah, I think from the upper balcony, Amatis is standing, currently speaking with. I guess she might be reconvening a bit with Garahel and Isaiah just temporarily, and as they break off from her, she sees you dancing and just gives a smile down in your direction. The two of you continue to dance until an appropriate moment to break off, not immediately following the storm off that caused a lot of attention and whispering in the ballroom when Marquis and Tillian left.
It's a good distraction for somebody else.
Yeah.
Does asshat get any ire?
He started the night with some ire. He's fine. No, Valmont just sort of, as she storms off. Again, it's sort of a double standard because in polite society, she stormed off and sort of ruined. So I don't think he's necessarily getting the ire in this situation from everyone in the room. There's some people know who he is, some people don't. People that are outside the situation, it's a mixed bag. But he stops and just sort of turns to the ballroom and gives like a subtle bow and then moves off to the dance floor. Not following her, but moving somewhere else.
Garas is definitely, not this hour, but definitely next hour, is going to want to talk to her.
Okay. Well, we still have a couple more actions to get through this hour, but we're also running low on time. And I don't want to force anybody to move quickly and try to wrap their whatever they want to do up in such a short period. So I think that's just where we're going to end for tonight. But when we come back, we'll give Yaz and Venn a chance to do something, and then those of you that wish can push to do something else. So that is what we're going to call it for tonight, y'all. Made a lot of progress, got through about an hour and a half, and with a few more hours left in the ball to carry out your scheme, along with all these other schemes that are popping up. So let's go and end, and we'll do our stars and wishes. Cats. So do we just want to go in order for stars and wishes? I've been listening. This music's been on the whole time. I'll change to something else. Unless somebody wants to go first. Then do you want
No,
Van,
yeah.
you want to go first?
I can kick
Go for
us
it.
off. My star is going to go to full-throated, conniving Garas. In the conversation with I forgot her name. But the mercenary lady. Amaris Vale. In that just like a real full-throated moment of like hey, I know some shit. Let's fuck him up. Because I think Garas has sort of towed that line in a lot of places, but finally took a moment to really just like put his whole heart behind something, and that's ruining a terrible man's life, and I love that for him. But yeah, that turn is really interesting and fun. So well played. My wish is, I don't know. I'm having a really good time sneaking around, and I want to just do a lot more sneaking around. It's really all I want to do right now is just like creep around and poke things and open doors I'm not supposed to open. And
I think you'll have plenty more
yeah,
time.
that's just where I'm at right now. So yeah,
Awesome.
it's the one thing I'm built for, and I want to finally do it in a real capacity.
I have that down. Thank you, Van. Sid.
Star goes to sneaky Venehn, sneaking up on Wolf, poking and prodding and getting information.
I'm gonna get
I
his
love
ass.
it.
I'm gonna make sure he's okay before my friend decides to date him.
I mean, that's fair. Okay. So you're vetting him. Okay,
Yes.
that's acceptable.
I'm vending
We had a
him.
long exchange in the chat about Venehn pulling like a Jolene and sort of stealing.
No,
stealing
I
my
would
man.
never. He's not Venon's type. 2, he would never cross Yasmera like that. No. But if he's gonna stick around, I want to know what
Better
his
get with
ass is
it.
about.
Yeah, if you wanna hang out with us, you better be open and honest. You know, we may be thieves, but we're honest
If you
with
want
each
to
other.
be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. Anyway, no, that was just incredible and got him. It was really good.
You did. That was very good.
Wish. Gotta get in that room, y'all. Gotta be in the room where it happens.
Yep.
And I have ideas. But yeah. Also, Minnie started Garas being like, I can get in the room, and letting me be like, but no, I think I should definitely be in the room. Okay.
Just
Look, he knows his weaknesses.
I was looking forward to the ballsy plan of Garas trying to get himself invited to this meeting.
He knows his weaknesses, and he is ready to just like, look, I know what I am about. Lady, what are you doing?
Bonnie, leave the couch alone, Bonnie.
Bonnie, stop it. Bonnie, stop it.
Boy, I guess it's my turn, huh?
I know we can get a wish from.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Oh yeah. My wish is to connive to get sneaky into that room.
Okay.
And I have ideas. I have lots of ideas. If that way is still somehow solidified by pretending to be making out in the corner with Wolf, I'm not going to be upset about it. Just saying.
I'm interested to see how you make that work.
That's me.
Perfect. Thank you, Sid. Wally.
My star goes to Carter because I just loved Carter doing his best to try and be social and very hey, I'm trying to break out of my shell and try to talk to people. It didn't go as well as he thought, but he did it, and I am so proud of him because he did it. And I really,
Carter is
like
me
that.
at every social function, and it's inspiring. And yes,
It was just fantastic. My wish, though, I want this motherfucker Valmont to be exposed, not just like. I don't want just to ruin his. I want to expose him 100% for the rat that he is, because I think that now everyone is aware that he's kind of a shit, and now it's even becoming even more so. But I really, really just want to expose and undress him to see how the rest of the world sees him as really is, kind of thing.
Expose
Even if it has
and
to end up-
undress him. There is gentry present. Jesus, Garas.
You're gonna expose, undress him, and then we're gonna peg him for everything that he's done.
Full circle.
Just
full
in the
circle.
background. Wait for me!
But yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you, Garas. Sita.
All right. Man, my star is gonna go to Yaz for just being like laser focused on this thing. Like we're all like goofing and having fun, and we're moving things too. But Yaz is just 100%. Like we shouldn't even be here. Yaz should just be doing this mission by herself. We're getting in the way, if anything. No. And my wish is I would like to make some ties with the Antivans and possibly ingratiate myself with the Grey Wardens a little bit. I think that is something that would benefit us a great deal in the future.
Oh, yes.
And even if I can't ingratiate myself with them, I need to figure out what the hell they know, because they know some shit, and I can tell they know some shit, and I'm gonna find out what the shit they know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's so much juicy stuff. I can't wait for y'all to learn, guys. I'm so excited. You've only gotten to
We
like
just can't hide it.
the tip of the iceberg with the shit going on here, and I love it.
You guys thought I was a dice goblin? Just wait until we get into the gossip.
Gossip Goblin.
It sustains me.
Awesome. I'm excited y'all are liking this so much. I was telling Van this earlier. This is the first time I've really run an intrigue scenario this in depth before.
Well, you based it, and I was telling Val earlier that they based it on literally my favorite intrigue-based quest of all time in any video game. So, bound to be successful.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it's a good way to, if anyone doing the hour by hour limited action sort of stuff, I think really heightens the drama with all of it and makes it meaningful, the actions that you're taking.
Like, you can do a couple of things.
Yeah.
You can do one thing.
Yeah.
No, it's
Well,
great.
it also helps with the immersion too, because it makes it feel like the event is actually
Progressing.
transpiring over
Yeah.
time, and
Yeah.
instead of just time freezes whenever a conversation begins.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it keeps things more organized too, because I can plan out events and I don't have to be like, oh shit, I forgot to do that or something. I can just be like, this hour, this happens.
Yeah. No,
So
it's
yeah. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. And we're gonna get, 7 sessions out of 1 day of prep for me, which is also an awesome experience as a
Well,
GM.
you know how we feel about role plays, so
Yeah. Perfect. Well, we are at
hate it,
time.
don't want to do it.
Yeah, I know y'all detest it. Want to get back to fighting shit. We will get there. We will get back to that eventually too. So yes. Thank you everyone out there for watching. I'm delighted that everyone is enjoying this so much. And we appreciate all of you in the chat for being here. We will be back we'll be back next Monday to continue. Join us in the meantime, like I was saying before. We will not have a stream tomorrow as Escape Velocity is prepping for some changes, and there are going to be I think our next live show is going to be on Thursday. We'll be returning to Elegant Creatures, where we're wrapping up our last mystery there. So join us for all of those shows and everything else in the meantime. You can check out our full schedule or check out our YouTube and get caught up on all the other lovely shows that are ongoing or that have been played in the past. There's lots of great stuff there. Thank you to my lovely players for being awesome and making this game so much fun to run, and really just diving headlong into what I've created here and making it even better than it could have been on paper. We will see everyone in 1 week, and until next time, good game and good night, Internet.
chant